Hello and welcome to Sunday Stretchies, where we prepare our bodies and our minds for the upcoming week. I'm Kiera with Popshine Studios. We've got about a 20-minute stretch for you today, so we've got 20 minutes on the clock and we will get started. We're going to do the majority of our stretches standing up today. So to start off with, let's take a wide, what this is called as, it dances as second position here. So feet are going to be wider than our hips, wider than our shoulders. We're just going to bring our arms up overhead, stretch. Exhale. Now let's bend our knees. One more. A little deeper on that one. Very nice. Let's go ahead and lean to one side. Really feeling this in the sides of our body. Trying to stay up nice and tall if we can. Not collapsing in forward. We're staying nice and tall. Ooh, my back cracked on that one. Now let's flip and do a flat back, same direction. Dropping that gaze down to look down at our feet. Couple inhales here, exhales. And we'll come all the way down to the ankle. Drop that head down as well. Hold that position. Couple breaths. On this next inhale, let's come all the way up. And we'll repeat on the other side. And switch to flat back. Gaze down at the toes. And all the way down to the ankle, dropping that head as well. Couple breaths here. On that next inhale, let's come up all the way. Inhale, exhale, come forward into flat back. Hold that for just a moment. Drop that gaze down to the ground. Arms are nice and long in front of us. Now I do have my knees locked out for this, but if it's a little more comfortable for you to bend those knees and have a little bit more of an athletic stance, that is totally okay. And we'll drop all the way down to the ground, relaxing the head. Maybe we shake the head. No. Nod the head, yes. Let's grab our elbows and sway side to side. Bending those knees a little bit. Movement. Alright, relax. Let your shoulders hang down, hang loose. And let's roll up one vertebrae at a time on inhale. Very nice. All right, let's go ahead and turn our feet out a little bit. I'm sinking into the sand under my mat. We'll stretch those inner thighs. So, you know I love to use my elbows to push my knees apart. I think that feels nice. And of course, always adding movement here, swaying side to side. Let's take one hand, put it on one knee. So I've got my left hand straightening my elbow, pushing my left knee out a little bit. And now I'm going to flip my fingers so they're the opposite direction. So first my fingers were up, now my fingers are down. Alright, switching sides. Got my right hand on my right knee, still swaying side to side. Sometimes it's a little bit of a balance challenge too. Flip that hand over. back center. One final push here. Let's go ahead and drop those hands down onto the mat. Lift our hips up to the sky. Ooh, maybe we're a little bit deeper now in the center position. Oh, that feels nice. I love feeling that stretch behind the knees. On an inhale, let's come up. Alright, let's go ahead and bring those knees a little closer together, those feet a little closer together. We're going to go into what's called the functional squat. So babies use this position all the time. I'm sure you've seen it. We've done it before on our channel. I'm going to take our hands up and down, and we're just going to sit. Now, I always have to adjust myself in this position. It's never just quite right when I first do it. And that's totally okay. If you need to adjust a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Of course, I've got my movement here. I'm swaying a little bit side to side. It feels really nice on the hips. And I've got my elbows once again pushing against my knees. If I take my hands down, I can sit here in this position, and it's fairly comfortable, but I don't really get a stretch. So by having those elbows push those knees apart, feel that a little bit deeper. Feel that a little deeper in my hips. And it's a way to engage my back, my upper back, because with pushing my hands together, it pulls my shoulders down away from my ears, and it does engage the muscles in my upper back. You might feel this stretch a little bit in your calves as well. And if your heels don't touch the ground all the way, that is totally fine. This pose looks a little bit different for everybody. It depends on hip anatomy, depends on hip flexor strength and hip flexor flexibility as well. And of course, hamstrings and ankle flexibility. So no worries if yours is not as deep as mine. And if yours is deeper than mine, awesome. I've seen that lots and lots of times in classes where people just have a very natural, deep, functional squat. All right, let's very gently come up and out of that. I'm going to use my hands to help me. Stretch those legs straight. Wiggle the hips a little bit. And we'll come up one vertebrae at a time again. Okay, shake, shake, shake. Wiggle it loose, wiggle it loose. Let's head into a runner's lunge. So I'm going to take my left foot forward and place that apparently in a hole. And my right leg's going to come back. And I'm going to keep this knee straight and off the mat, just for now. You can sink down into this. What we want to focus on is keeping our knee over our ankle here. We want to try to avoid going too far over the ankle. So if that means you need to adjust your back foot, do so however feels comfortable. So with that little hop back there, I don't know if I can actually hold that position without my arm down supporting me. If that's you as well, no worries. If you are able to hold that position, that's great. But I think what I'm going to do is scoot in a little bit. Here we go. And now I can come up in my runner's lunge and take my arms up overhead. This is a balance challenge. You can also feel my quad working quite a bit, my front quad. If you're so inclined, arch back. Woo! It's a balance challenge for sure. Exhale. Let's drop that back knee down. Goodness, my mat is doing all kinds of crazy stuff here at the beach. So I'm adding some movement to my runner's lunge. Just some gentle presses forward, getting a little deeper into the hips. And now I'm going to push back into my half split. So you'll feel this a lot behind the knee here. And if you want to feel it a little more, flex that foot. Let's go ahead and hold that for a couple breaths. Try to relax that back foot that you've got your weight on. If it's a little more comfortable for you balance-wise, you can tuck your toes. I actually prefer to have my toes down and flat. Flex, point the foot that's forward. Ankle just popped with that motion. Now let's go back into that lunge. Chest comes up tall. Always adding movement for me. That's what's most comfortable. So I like to do that. It's right for my body. Let's flip this lunge inward. Now again, adjust to however is comfortable for you. Ooh, I'm gonna need to scoot a little bit closer here. So in this one, totally fine for this knee to come over this ankle. This one's a little bit of a different stretch. You're gonna feel this one behind the knee here. We'll come up and we'll do the other side. Come back center. And now we'll rotate our runner's lunge to the other side. Woo, I'm gonna adjust my feet a little bit because my mat is stretchy. So it's stretching with us. It's also doing Sunday stretchies. So I've got 1 foot in front, 1 foot behind, staying tall in this original lunge here. Getting some movement. Maybe we take those hands up overhead. Balance challenge, lean back. I'm sure mine is very subtle. And we're gonna come down, drop that back knee. Currently wishing that I would have smoothed out the sand a little bit right here because I'm sinking into it quite a bit. Take some breaths here, take some movement. And we will go back into our half split. Flex that foot if that feels good. Point the toe. Flex the toe. Come back into that low lunge. Sit up nice and tall for this one. And from here, we will flip back over. Ooh, and we can sit a little deeper there. I'm going to adjust myself a bit. I can sit just a bit deeper here. For me, I don't have a lot of flexibility in my ankles, so I know it looks like my heel is on the ground here, but it's actually not. And it very rarely is. And that's totally okay. Okay, come back center. Come up slowly, slowly, slow and controlled. It's like we're about halfway through our 20 minutes here. Let's bring our feet together, rebalance ourselves, shake it all out, shake it all out. Let's go into a classic quad stretch. So this is going to be a big balance challenge for me personally because of the uneven nature, both the squishiness of my mat and the squishiness of the sand. But sometimes classics are ideal. Sometimes we like those. Maybe for this one, I might turn this direction towards the mat here. Enjoy the sunset a little bit. I'm going to take my left hand, it's going to grab my left leg. I'm going to put my right hand out for balance. Maybe I'll start with my left hand out for balance too. And very slowly, woo, grab my quad. All right, good work. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. Get settled. For these where we're standing on 1 foot doing a balance challenge, we really want to try and engage our core. That helps with flexibility quite a bit. So I don't mean tense really strong like that, but more so what I mean is think about your abdominal muscles turning on, so to speak. So we turn them on, they wake up, they think, oh, I need to be involved in this. So more so you're thinking about utilizing your core muscles to help stabilize you. Picture a corset. So all of the muscles in our abdomen, our obliques, our upper and lower abs, these are essentially the internal corset in our body that support our entire torso. So if we think about gently tightening that corset, it's an engagement of our core muscles that helps us quite a bit with balance. Now, I want to make it abundantly clear that I am not advocating for us to try and work our core muscles to a level that we look like we're wearing a corset. That's not really what I'm after right now. Let's go ahead and get into our quad stretch on our right side. I personally tend to have better balance on my left foot on a good day. I feel like I've maybe said the opposite of that before, but I had an injury in high school that led me to need quite a bit of PT, and I did a lot of single leg, and that was false. Led me to need quite a bit of single leg exercises. So, shall we do our calves next? Let's do our left leg first, since we started with left leg. So this is going to be a high lunge. My goodness, we've got no balance at all now. It's because I said it out loud. I said to my left leg, "You're the strong one," and it said, "No, don't speak to me." So we hop into our high lunge here. We've got our back leg straight, and we'll feel that stretch in our calf. If you want to feel a little more, just bend that back leg. Oh, I see a surfer out there in the distance. Maybe it's a buoy. It's hard for me to tell out here. They're quite far out. Oh no, it is a surfer. Oh gosh, I hope you guys can see that too. That's cool. Let's switch feet. Center ourselves. Shake it out, get our balance again. Step one foot back, whatever is the opposite of the foot that was back before. We're in our high lunge, stretching our calf. Bending that back leg a little bit. Feel it even deeper in the calf. This might be a little bit of a strength challenge as well. I'm feeling my back leg have a little bit of shakes. So if you want to stick with the static stretch of your stretching your calf with that back leg straight, totally okay. Ooh, legs are sticking. All right, let's go arms up overhead. And we've got one elbow. And we'll switch, other elbow. Let's bring one arm across the body. Uh-oh, we got the water coming in. The water might be coming in. I'm going to turn and watch it just in case it doesn't rinse me away. I like to sway a little bit side to side when I'm in this stretch. I think this feels nice. Go ahead and switch sides. Uh-oh, tide's coming in a little bit. Might have to run towards you here in a sec. Okay, while I keep an eye on the water, I'm going to go ahead and do some stretches on my neck as well. So I'm going to take one hand and just very gently place it on my neck like this. I'm going to face this direction so I can watch the water, make sure it doesn't sweep up and take my mat away. And we'll switch to the other side. We want to be very, very gentle with neck stretches. We don't need to be pulling on our neck at all. Neck has got so many very fine bones in it. There's no need to hurt anything unnecessarily. We've got ligaments, tendons in there. We've got lots of muscles. I'm sure all of us have been in a situation where we have slept funny and turn our head properly for a few days without pain. Let's do some very gentle head circles. And we'll reverse, go the other direction. Eyes are starting to water from the wind. All right, for this next one, let's go ahead. I will face you again. We're going to take our arms out and twist. Feel this one not only in my abdomen, but also in my shoulder, my arm that's back. Feels good. We'll go ahead and switch sides. In yoga, this is called a bind. You kind of wrap your arms or secure your arms in a way. Ooh, we're watching. I've got my spouse as my cameraman, and he's saying my name every time the waves look like they could potentially come in too far. Ooh, and it's coming in all right. Thought I'd have time today. We've got about 2 minutes left in our stretch. I think we can make it. All right, we're going to come forward. Let's do a little bit of mobility. Let's do some wrist rolls. And we'll switch the other direction. Gentle, gentle. Let's do the same thing with our ankles. Another balance challenge. Okay, you're going to stand on one foot. If you want your arms out for balance, that's awesome. If you want your hands at your hips, whatever feels comfortable for you. We're going to pick one foot up, roll that ankle. Let's do 3 or 4 times one direction. Keep your balance. And then we'll switch feet, assuming you've rolled both directions. You can get 4. There we go. And reverse directions. Sometimes my ankle really fights me and it doesn't want to go the opposite direction. All right, let's do a little bit of rib dancing, as it is referred to in bars sometimes. So we'll push our ribs open and close. Just let's do about 3 of these. One more, just for good measure. 2 deep breaths. Another. Ooh, don't lose your balance. And that was Sunday Stretchies. You did it. Good job.